We are live.
Hello.
Hello, Haley.
Um,
And of course, right as we go live.
Yay!
Fantastic.
Yay! And as soon as we start up, there goes Haley again. Fuck Comcast.
So I think we need to make a rule here. If this happens to the point where it's just impossible to keep a flow going, we may have to call it.
Did I put a second time mark up?
I don't want to call it. Kind of looking forward to this.
well, let's see. Maybe it'll clear up.
Let's hope.
In the meantime, here, let me give you Beelzebub. Blip.
Do not play Beelzebubs.
Oh, are we live right now? Are we still live?
Yeah.
We are live.
You can't play.
Just a moment.
Maybe.
Up.
Okay.
I heard a Haley.
Okay, I hear Haley.
My God. Comcast is just properly shitting itself today. I blame the fucking storm earlier today.
Told you.
How bad was the storm?
Yes, like heavy rain. Comcast doesn't like rain.
I've never played that.
Not my house at least. Whenever it rains heavily later that night, the internet struggles. Which is why I'm normally very wary to try and run games when storms are incoming, because then it's just like by the time nighttime falls and everything calms down, then my internet starts having issues. Not during, after.
Alright. We are live, by the way.
Yeah, but anyway, welcome guys back to Rolls Astonish, back to the Legends of 5 Amulets, our 5e game. I am Haley, also known as Whisper Shimmerlocks, the ever-benevolent but sometimes malevolent DM of the game. And we are back once again with our game. Last time you guys were here, they all were just leaving Aglayla, they were on their way to leaving Aglayla. They met with a troop of bards. They got through all that rigmarole. Just long story short, it's been a little bit, but they finally managed to get out of Aglayla and make it to Oslar.
Well,
because I do not want to try and go through all that travel.
Aren't we supposed to be meeting somebody outside of Oslar?
We are.
Yes,
We are supposed to be meeting.
Oh, is Oslar the country and not the city?
Oslar is the country. The actual capital
sorry.
is. Oh God, give me a second.
What was the damn name you came up with? I remember you.
Dwarf Town.
Hang on. The map?
Dwarf place. We're gonna go dwarfling. Gonna go dwarf hunting. I mean.
Yeah, the capital that you guys are heading to is Sal Grahum, but the villagers stopping at is Vog Faldir, which is where Holden's going to be meeting you guys.
Where we're finally going to reconnect with one of the leaders of the Avengers of Zoathia.
Leaders.
Wow.
And do you guys
sending you a message, by the way, Killsec.
And do you guys want to introduce your characters while the DM gets her notes together?
Sure. And by the way, real quick, isn't that guy the one who turns out tried to go for the amulet in Algola? Yeah.
Yeah, I will explain this real quick. Basically, for those of you that are just joining us, last time when the group went and got a hold of the Heart of Protection, the amulet that was hidden in Aglayla, they stumbled upon a paladin that was actually protecting the amulet that was under the influence of Shivara's god, who they actually found out wasn't truly Augment, but twisted one of the Dark Ones, pretty much, and his shield was enchanted in a sense to kind of brainwash him. Once they got him snapped out of it, they got a hold of his journal, and they figured out that somebody had tried to claim the amulet before them. It was actually Holden's original group before he officially retired. Pretty much a long story short, and the only two members of that original group that you guys have met so far is Holden himself and, oh God, what the hell is his name? And there's a child in the background that does not sound happy.
No, she's playing with Play-Doh.
Oh. But yeah, it was...
Happy noises.
Yeah, happy noises. Happy noises.
She's tired, but we're trying to tire her out.
Hey, Haley?
Yes?
Clarify just to save during the gameplay. Can I assume that the Halden in this game is of similar capabilities to the Halden in the original game?
Uh, sure. It's basically the same character layout. But yeah, Holden and Azure, those are the only ones you originally met.
Yeah, but no metagaming, Holmes.
Oh no, trust me, he doesn't have too much metagaming to go off of.
Oh, okay.
Well, I just don't want to do a bunch of questions for exposition and waste time.
Don't worry, there's no time to waste here. But anyway, you guys, after going along for a while, making your way across Ordia and avoiding basically everything else, which took you a bit. It took you quite a bit, but you did manage to do it. With the guide of your two druids once they both recovered from the incident, which we will get into during downtime, guys. So you'll figure that out eventually, but let's just say issues happened.
What else is new?
Yeah, that always seems to be the thing. Is just downtime happened, issues ensued, we're back on the road. But anyway, you guys pull up to the small dwarven village of Vagfalodir on the outskirts of the mountains. This village, pretty much, long story short, it serves as a sort of basically a trading post slash like goods storage for the dwarven country, because there are a couple of these little villages that are kind of spread out far and wide along the border, just to kind of serve as basically a place where that way nobody has to try and navigate the mountain ranges and stuff in order to get to the capital. That way goods get brought to them and then they send it out to wherever. The only purpose of the capital really serves as sort of as a political standing point, pretty much. So people don't really travel to there unless they intend to want to negotiate things with the dwarves. Because it's amazing there. But otherwise, you guys do arrive, and after looking around a little bit, you do manage to find a nice little tavern that I would assume you guys will want to wait for Holden in to see if he does emerge. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up that letter to see if he mentioned where he's meeting you guys at.
Probably go with the usual spiel of being merchants. Radagast runs his business.
Yep, we can do that.
Probably the same.
I mean, we have a second cart that we need to sell and 2 horses.
So we have the other cart and the horses too, don't we?
Yep.
Oh shit. Wait, hold on. Let's pause for a sec. So we have that. I'm sure we've been making more things like mayonnaise and wine.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we can take care of that sort of business in downtime. I'm just saying it officially.
No, I know. I'm thinking like what we. Okay, so we should, because I was about to do something else, but that kind of changes how we entered the town. So okay. I'll tell you what. I think the easiest way to do it is if we're gonna go into the town, I can go and see if I can haggle our way into a cheap room.
Oh yeah, the closet room with half-rotten beds.
Nope. I'm gonna see if honestly the truth is I'm gonna see if I can find information about where Holden is without letting people know that I'm looking for Holden, because that's kind of what I do.
Okay.
Unless Tim wants to try to be sneaky, we can do that.
I was just about to ask, are we still going under the Vanya Radagast thing? Like, do you want me to accompany you, Vincent?
No, I think I'll have Vincent go alone. As Radagast.
I'm back in a dress again.
Yep. Good old Niama.
Okay, so I guess.
Oh, and I forgot to mention this at one point, but I had the bards give me a mustache.
You have a mustache?
I have a mustache.
One mustache for the Emily.
Garrett has literally changed nothing about himself.
Yep.
Yeah, I imagine Halo took her time just doing that, just making it perfect.
Oh yes.
Okay,
She give it a kiss.
Okay, Snidely. Should I roll?
To get cheap rooms,
No, I want to find out without kind of being obvious about it, so I don't know how to. What do I need to roll? Just
Probably deception.
yeah.
deception. But I feel like it's almost. Is it 2 rolls or 1 roll?
Or persuasion.
Deception and persuasion, right?
I mean,
More or less, yeah.
Sure.
I feel like it's mostly persuasion.
Yeah,
Like-
no, yeah, because in all honesty, I'm not just deceiving. I'm persuading them to give me information with
and then
minimal
deceiving
information
them
given
to
out.
keep them from knowing what you're looking for.
But that's the thing. I'm just persuading them to freely give up the information.
Well, first start off with the room.
Wait
Yeah.
a minute. We may be overthinking this too much.
I really
mean,
think I can
this
just
is a
roll
secret
persuasion and be done with it.
society. This is a secret society. I'm assuming that there are typically markers, brands, rings.
No.
and
The Avengers of Zoethia aren't like that. What are you talking about? And
Or he just is waiting to see us and then he'll follow us to our room.
that's possible too. So maybe I should just go get the rooms and then go from there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just do
Bam.
something.
Let's get cheap rooms that are not shit. How does a 33 strike you guys?
I
Damn.
hope for 80 beds.
I'm looking for somewhere to stand.
That means I rolled a 14, by the way. Jesus Christ.
Actually, it says 19 right there.
No.
Inside.
I rolled
Yeah,
a
that's his
14.
modifier.
Because I have.
That's
No,
the
it's a 19
modifier.
inside persuasion. That's 19.
That's
Plus whatever.
that's what I'm saying. I rolled a 14. Yeah.
Sometimes it dies.
Anyway.
Anyways, so yeah. I want to find nice rooms for us
Trying to pull up
for
something.
cheap.
Yeah, let me just pull up the thing real quick because I need to see what typical charge would be for this. Not in there. Damn it.
The gentle.
Pardon me, the DM's fumbling a little bit.
This
Well, while
mustache
she's
reminds
doing
me of
that-
Commissioner Gordon.
Is it bad that I'm really actually hoping we get to some kind of combat tonight?
Meh.
I really hope Garen dies tonight.
Goodness gracious.
Wow.
It's because, I think
Every
it's, I think
night I
it's
hope
'cause
he
Evan,
dies.
yeah, Evan secretly wants to play his other character.
I do like. I love making new characters.
Hey,
Well,
Evan, one of these
is
days,
the
me and you are
upper-
going to sit down. We're going to generate some new random NPCs that I want to use for something else.
Oh yeah.
Sound that you
Can
down?
do.
Oh, cool.
Well, in the effort of not having to roll a new character, Burles decides to change Vanya's visage from previous incarnations, and now she is a plainer-looking human girl playing in the role of a servant. So she would be more demure and submissive to the whims of the superiors.
Why?
That's
I mean,
good
it's a
luck
good.
with that.
Have fun with that, but I'm just asking why.
Well,
Because
I mean,
they
to
know.
change things
Oh,
up.
go ahead.
No, I'm genuinely asking. Like, I don't know a problem with it. I'm genuinely wondering why.
Well,
What-
because what we're trying to, what I'm understanding is we're trying to be subdued and incognito, basically. And what does our enemies know about Burles? That Burles is flamboyant, prideful, vain, arrogant.
And a
Likely
man.
the first one you'll spot.
Yeah. So I'm trying to. So if this is a stealth mission and we need subtlety, I'm trying to be subtle and inconspicuous.
I didn't know it
Okay,
was a
found
stealth.
it.
I didn't know it was a stealth mission. That's why I'm just maybe I'm missing
I,
something.
I breathe
I don't know.
subtlety.
Just subtlety. We're just not.
We're not
Going
trying to
that
draw.
route.
We're trying not to draw attention to ourselves.
Yeah.
I
And
breathe
this,
subtlety
with that
and
persuasion,
inconspicuous.
you guys have some comfortable rooms, and it is 1 silver per room.
Fantastic. I'm a wizard. Thank you guys. Love me. Cool.
so you guys have the rooms for right now before you try and do anything else?
Yeah,
I think we will. Yeah.
get kind of settled and
Okay, how many rooms and how are you dividing it up?
nobody
mean-
sleeps alone.
I was actually I'm gonna be honest. I was gonna kind of request a room alone, but that's just me.
Don't be a little bitch.
No, it's because I play my music and I really don't want to be bothered. No, I play my music to do my things, and I don't really want to be bothered. I'm sorry.
A room with
Kind of
Garen.
visits-
Yeah, room with Garen. He just sits in the corner.
Yeah, but I feel bad because he really doesn't like the stuff I play. I feel bad about it. That's what it comes from.
Garen doesn't give a shit. Okay.
He has actually no. I give a shit. That's my point. I gotta
Uh,
play my character. I know. I understand. Okay, as a player, I get it. I'm with you. I understand. As a character, it's just not like Vincent's had his own room this whole time. Like he's had his own spot. Hasn't shared a room with anybody really.
okay, but Killsick says, okay, nobody's rooming alone.
I have Xanti. I'm not alone.
That's a guitar.
It's in your head,
But
just like Envy is with me. It doesn't work that way.
it's not. He has situational awareness.
So does
Kinda,
Envy.
he does, and Killstick can absolutely vouch that he has a mind of his own.
Yes, but
Yeah.
he's.
And I've already
But
got.
he's a guitar!
Just,
Sapphire exclaims.
don't you be mean to my friend. This one.
I will hit you over the head with your friend!
Kay
I'm
feels
not
a
being-
Enjoy
tug
it.
on his sleeve.
Who does?
Kay, or what are we calling Killsec now?
You could call me Kashmir.
Back to Kashmir.
You could call me Kay. You could call me Kashmir.
Cashy.
Cashmere!
Yeah.
The
Just saying.
plain human girl that I would assume at some point I said, call me Maris. You know,
Okay.
Maris tugs on Kashmir's sleeve and says, Mistress, if it is all right with you, I will room with Sir Ragagast, and nothing he does will bother me.
I'm sorry, but I have a big mustache right now, and you call me mistress.
I'm sorry, Master. I'm sorry.
Oh, there you go.
Master!
That's-
Master!
That's not canon. That's not canon. I'm sorry. That's
Hey,
no,
you
no.
talking to Neoma? Neoma's the girl right now.
No,
Leah's the girl.
I had the bards get me a mustache.
It didn't work.
Haley, please don't kill us all because I screwed up.
You're fine! You're fine!
It's just a mistake, you know?
I honestly heard it as master! I honestly heard it as master! I didn't hear mistress, I heard master!
heard-
Mistress, clear as day. Like,
I
Mistress, your
did.
mustache is looking quite full today.
And honestly, you're a town full of dwarves, so I imagine nobody's gonna bat an eye.
That's fair.
They'll probably just assume it's a drow thing!
I'm sorry. I thought I said master.
Go on, just Raka, you said master, keep going.
Okay.
Sorry. I had to help with the kid.
so
Nothing
Fine,
will-
we're just dying!
yeah.
I
So what happened?
understand. I
Somebody
understand,
text him.
Sirrah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I understand Sir Radagast's concerns. He will not bother me. I will just stay out of the way anyway.
I just kind of look over at what is the current iteration of Anya.
Maris.
Yeah.
Fuck, I can't keep track of this shit. Fuck all of you and your names. At least Killstick kept it the same.
Yeah, Killsick just says, okay. Vincent, you are the squishiest motherfucker of this bunch. I'm not leaving you in a room alone, even if you do have a nice guitar.
Well, Radagast, isn't he? He's going by.
I would
Whoever
like to
the
request
fuck
a
you
room with Ibra.
See, this is the problem.
Oh, the names!
Right?
Garen, I would just like
Right.
to say, I'm not going to resend that. Garen just said, I'd like to request a room with Ibgern.
Okay, sure. Yeah?
You mean Ghoul Man, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the DM just honestly choked there for a second, folks.
Okay, Radagast. Yeah, you're sleeping with Maris.
No, that's it.
I just read your message, Haley.
And Leaf, you're going.
Did he?
I mean, Neoma, you're going to be with Arcus. And that leaves me with the other dwarf,
You get to root.
Goldman.
Goldmund. Oh,
That
shoot.
that actually works out considering we're
Goldmund and Goldmund.
Goldman and Goldman. They're twin brothers that don't look anything alike.
Should open up a law for him.
The original Goleman's a dwarf, Ibgur's a wood elf. That doesn't work.
Right.
Oh,
They're
you're talking
identical
about
twins that don't
Mother-
look alike.
Well, it looks like I'm rooming with you, Master Dwarf.
I gotta do this. I gotta do Goleman's voice, right? Well, alright then, Kajmia. Just make sure not to hog too much to the bed this time. He
No
just
problem.
kind of strides into the room, just not even giving a fuck.
Alright.
God damn it, Evan!
I got nothing.
Neither do I! I'm trying to find a new name for him, because he's not gonna go by Goldman when we have the original Goldman.
Actually, no.
Right.
Like I said,
We could just
they're
call him
twins.
Gully.
Golly, oh.
Let's
We
call
call
him
We're
him-
gonna
Gully.
call him Golly at this point.
Can we
Let's
call
just
him
call him
Ferngully?
Gully.
We can call him Mandy.
We're calling him Gully. Okay.
Mandy the male dwarf. What,
Okay,
babe?
Goldmund is the dwarf, and
I did.
Golly is Ibgurn,
Oh.
correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Ibgurn is now
Is
for
that-
Golly, can't confirm.
Oh wait, no, Ibgurn is Fern Gully.
No,
but
I know.
I'm just gonna call him Gully.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Alright.
I'm just gonna
And his
call him
beast
Edgar.
form right now is a fucking seagull.
Kosek tries the dwarf bed and it's like, oh, you know, you guys have nice beds. Not soft like halfling beds. Just more stable,
Not an insult.
firm. Feels nice on my back.
I was actually gonna comment the same thing. They're pretty sturdy.
I guess Neoma and Arcus going together.
So how do dwarf accommodations work? You know,
They have human size accommodations. They actually have a lot more than a halfling kingdom would, believe it or not,
Because they see a lot of like humans visiting here, like on
because of the
certain
fact that
little.
like humans mine alongside dwarves in some of the more communal areas, things like that.
nice.
Yeah, that, and you had to remember that Oslor has a direct border shared with Ordia.
All right, nice.
Exactly.
Now I don't have to crab walk.
Nope.
And the
No.
only reason you'd have to crab walk is if you actually go into the capital, because there are some dwarf homes that have been there since like the beginning, when they were made for dwarf size instead of human size.
That makes sense.
All you have to do is walk on your knees because they're still built with your shoulders.
Yeah,
Waddle, 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 waddle.
they're very circular.
Waka
people.
waka waka.
So
Okay, but anyway, after you guys settle into your rooms, actually, for Ibgurn and Garen's room, you guys hear a rapping at your door.
Oh no, it's not a raven, is it?
Garen's
Nevermore.
gonna open up the door and see who's outside. Not gonna like talk to him.
Once you open the door a little bit, you see someone just kind of charge in and slam the door shut behind him. He pulls his hood down. It's Holden! Well, it's about time you guys got here.
Karen?
Garen's just like,
Garen's waiting for him to keep on going. Like there was no question
Well-
asked.
Fern Gully's in the room. It's
I guess he's
I
going to
thought
talk
you want me to have a conversation with myself, Garen. Speak! What in the world took you guys so long? I was expecting you to be here sooner. What was the holdup?
Holden
Problems.
asks, what's the hold up?
Problems
I was
with
just gonna say
running
that.
into Shivara.
I don't know, what was that? Repeat that, Evan?
We ran into Shivara.
What? What do you mean you ran into her? Like, she literally just came to find you?
Garen points over to Burles. spoke to him.
You're not in the same room. He's
Sorry.
in your room with you and
I
Ibgard.
get Berlis and Ibgern mixed up.
No, just
A
point to
lot.
Ibgard. That's all you need.
I'm gonna point to Ibgern, but for him.
For your what else? Why?
I'm gonna
What was he
continue to
trying to
point
do?
towards him.
Tell him the story,
Like-
Igburn.
What was she planning to do with him exactly? What the fuck is that noise?
That sounds like an RC car.
It was a pencil sharpener.
Why the hell are you sharpening pencils?
What's up, man?
I
Okay.
suppose she went to turn him on us, but I suppose he would probably know more about that.
Easy there, Zach. Are you gonna live?
Sorry. Never say that again. I almost spit up water.
Wait, what is?
When you
She came to
stuttered there.
turn him on.
Okay, just go.
Oh shit, I did say that.
Just go.
Okay, keep going.
She meant to turn him on us, but he'd probably know more about her plans than I.
Oh boy, that's not good. She's
Oh, God.
getting bold. That is not a good trait for her. That is never a good trait.
That's okay.
No, I'm
Guess we're gonna have to step it up a little bit, sadly. But where are the rest of your party members?
The rooms.
Where they are.
I mean, the room's right next door. He walks up to one and he kind of starts banging on it. He kind of turns to Garen and Edgar and is just like, gather the rest of them, bring them here now.
Which room does he knock on? But which rooms are like adjacent?
Garen's gonna go to the rooms he knows you guys are in and just
beckon
a
us.
solid firm knock.
But which room is next
Opens
to
the
next to?
door.
Oh god, give me a second. Okay, I'm rolling a 1d4 here.
I'm one.
I guess I'll be 3.
Or
I guess
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
2.
The one number nobody picked.
Wait,
I-
that's him.
No, I just
Yeah,
said
Oh,
it's
you're two.
Tim's room. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, bang, bang, bang.
So, Maris and Vincent are together in their room, correct? Maris
No.
opens the door.
you
No,
call me Vincent one more time, I'm gonna stab you with a pencil.
No, because technically Kilsick said that you and technically Meredith
No, you
Meredith.
need to stop calling me Vincent.
Well, I'm not calling it. It's not my character saying that. It's Tim saying that, narrating, or just trying to clarify. Not even narrating.
Yeah, calm down, Radagast. Have a few smokes.
I'm probably gonna call
Maris
him.
opens the door for Master Radagast and says, "Yes."
It's from the wall, man.
Yeah, he kind of hears it through the wall, and then a moment later, he probably hears the knock from Garen. Just bang, bang, bang,
Which
knock,
is
knock, knock. Like, I got poltergeist stuff in here.
All right, Goman. Looks like we have a party. And Sister Kilsec comes in sporting a huge mustache. Oh yes, Holden.
Well,
Good to see
Holden's a
you.
little bit thrown back by the fisher. She's like, "What the hell happened to your face?"
You see Leaf and Arcus walk in.
Excuse
Yeah,
you, good there.
Oh, what the?
I step forward to Holden, and I'm like, well, we may or may not have need of disguises until we've secured an area. Just
You
saying.
didn't expect us to come across this whole land just as ourselves, right?
I was figuring you would have disguises that are a little bit more leading towards what you originally were instead of this mishmash I'm looking at right now. Like, Why is the boy in a dress? Why is any of this?
She has a very good lady voice.
Of course,
And as I said, we have.
perfect,
I
like
have a
perfect.
very domineering presence that's quite common in the service.
In all honesty, Holden, you shouldn't.
Could you please
complain.
drop the
It
accent
worked so
here,
far.
Killsick, because it's starting to really throw me through a loop.
I think
Oh,
the
no
mustache
problem.
looks fantastic.
And Holden finally notices Goldman is just like, you picked up a dwarf? What?
Yes, he picked him off the road. He's a nice chap.
Fuck.
He's actually a disciple of Celeste.
I miss Jin.
What are you talking about? I'm right here, Goldman speaks up.
Ha!
You don't want to get cock anymore.
We've,
Say that in character!
Yes.
No.
we've
All right.
had a very interesting and long journey.
Before he says that, I quickly go. No, it's okay. So we can drop disguises for right now. Mind you, as I do this, and I'm gonna do this. I think it would be all right if I did this. I should probably put us in a place where we can't be heard.
What are you talking about, boy?
I'll explain. Now the rest of you can you guys don't even have any you guys are used to it at this point, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, define used to it.
It doesn't affect you like it did the first time.
I'll suffer through it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are now in Zanti's realm.
Now we're in Zantiland.
What the hell just happened here? What the hell?
And without knowing he would do this.
Huh?
I'm telling this to Holden. You hired him without knowing that he could do stuff like this?
I recruited a bar, not a fucking wizard.
Oh, he's a little of both. And apparently,
Okay, so if we're dropping the disguise, then Burles is his normal, fabulous self. Like his armor.
Isn't this great?
Holden at this point just kind of gives up at this point. It's just like, whatever.
What's worse is that it's not even illusion. If you touch those boobs, they're real.
And you wanted me to stop from saying cock.
You know what? Okay, this makes him ask the question. Holden, your organization put us together. Didn't you understand our capabilities? I mean,
I knew
if
some of
not-
them, some of the important ones, but not the fact that you can shapeshift into whatever gender you please and this entire realm thing. And I opened a whole bag of rats I probably wasn't supposed to, but too late to change anything now, I suppose.
Why
The
if
job's
you
done,
were-
I can't
Hold
really
on.
complain too much.
I look at him point blank. I'm like, why would you be worried? We've already managed to thwart one of the three brothers.
Oh yeah,
For
Garen
now.
still got that.
wait a minute. Does he even know about the brothers?
No. That's what I'm trying to.
Well,
Find
I
out.
would have taken it back. I'm sorry. I had to take it back to bless
That's
him.
what I'm trying to find
Oh, yeah.
out. I want to see what he knows without us giving him information. That's why I did this quick as shit and in a hurry.
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
Oh, the real threat. Shavar is just a pawn.
What?
You
Oh, is that what the fuck is Zilby wrote back about?
You didn't know? Hold on. You didn't know? Could have sworn that there was at some point some message sent to you.
I know Zilty sent something, but I had been preparing to leave, and I had left shortly before it arrived, according to our door.
I'm gonna roll an insight on him.
Burles is also going to roll insight, and I decided that before that crappy roll.
And you both got the same roll.
Well,
As far as both of you
Your
are
words.
concerned, he is being 100% transparent with you. He had no idea about any of this.
Garen's gonna take him at face
Here.
value.
Let's see what I roll.
Well, yeah.
I want to see. Give me a moment.
yeah.
Where's my insight? There it is. Okay.
But what brings you to meet us here?
Well, I figure you lot would need some escorts. Life, that's about the same for you.
Aw.
I figured you lot would need some escorts to the capital because navigating through these mountains, it's been a while for me, but I travel back every year to visit family, so I know them a little bit better as time goes on. Better than most do.
Well, no offense, you are a dwarf.
I mean, yeah, these mountains were my home. Yeah,
Mm.
Iron Highlands. Ugh, I still miss them.
But
Berlitz?
Hmm?
I'm
I think
sorry.
it's something to do with Lily,
it's
though.
they don't need you. They're allowed to expend you to help us. The Avengers.
Yes, for right now. Because
Wait.
Ador can normally take charge while I leave on certain personal missions and such.
Oh.
Because sometimes we do need to separate in order to work and help with certain groups. Whenever we've had to send any groups into the Dwarven lands, I've come along. Whenever we've had to send anyone into the Elven lands, Ardor would go.
Mm.
So, just out of curiosity, do you know where Shavara is right now, or where she's been recently?
Not that I'm aware of until Garen dropped the news on me that she evidently encountered you guys in Aglela. Like, what the hell?
Oh, it was a fun conversation.
You, Leof's eye twitches.
I know. So, anyways, you know what we're here for. You know what we're trying to do.
Oh, right. In that case, we can't really dwell it too long. I know you all just rented your rooms here. We'll be staying the night, but we'll have to leave early tomorrow morning and try and reach the capital, because we got a lot of ground to cover.
Um, didn't we hear some news, Garen, about something in this town?
Yes, there's a man that is quite important to me, held captive by Shavar somewhere near here.
And isn't he being held by one of the top paladins?
One of her more capable paladins.
Target practice.
It's not target practice.
No, it's not. Which one? Out of character, which paladin are you guys? Do you guys know which paladin?
Nope.
It's one of the trained ones, but
No,
not
obviously, but I did encounter two of them. That's why I'm asking.
It's one of the ones that, isn't a big mook. But we don't know which.
Basically, he's not an elite, but he's not in training either.
Hmm. I mean, it might be good just to destabilize that in general before we go.
True. Give us a bit more of a foothold here. Allow you and yours, Holden, to continue to draw the gaze of Shavara away from us while we do what must be done.
Speaking of, Berliss pipes up. How have the efforts been going? I mean, as you can understand, we are a bit isolated on our mission.
We've been handling it quite well. We've been getting quite a few recruits with some of the others that have been venturing out. Isane, while she was down in, sorry, I'm kind of blanking on names here.
Get Cook.
Yeah, Get Hook. While she was down Get Hook, she was able to recruit a couple of halflings in and around the capital, so we were able to get that going. And I know last I heard, Ardor sent a couple of agents over to Aglela to try and figure out that entire situation, help them any way we can.
Couple of agents, eh?
Mm.
As far as everywhere else, we've been our agents have been kind of keeping on the low and trying to recruit because, well, with the presence of Shavar kind of focusing more on areas that you all haven't visited yet until we can shift their attention elsewhere. It's a little bit harder to try and get recruits.
Mm.
Not really too worried about the recruits. So who did you say you sent to Aglia?
Well, Ardor sent the agents. He wouldn't know. Would you?
No, I've only been keeping in touch with Ardor through letters in my travels up to here. I've been trying to keep it at a minimum as well, just in case any of them got intercepted by any of Shavar's goons.
By the way, we came across some interesting information in Aglela when we were looking for that amulet.
Hmm. What about?
There was a paladin there guarding the place,
Really?
and he said that he mentioned a Holden had tried to take the amulet and didn't succeed. Was that you?
You kind of see Holden just freeze a little bit before his face just drops along his eye. Oh, him. I
What
figured
is he
would have
saying?
croaked by now. Oh, him. I figured he would have croaked by now.
No, he's alive. Last we checked, and
Actually,
we
doing really
took a.
good, right?
Oh yeah,
Really good
we
now, right?
we removed a cursed shield that was making
Praise
Shavar
that-
mind control him.
Yeah, it was really odd though. I mean, it was just it took. I mean, Kilsick, it took you by surprise too, right? Him mentioning Holden.
Praise Echo.
So why wouldn't you give us this information, knowing where we were heading?
I didn't think he was still around. I figured he had somehow gotten himself killed or something like that.
So you sent us on a mission that was deemed impossible without the information we were going to need, and you don't think that this was important to tell us somebody that could potentially be guarding the very thing we were looking for?
Look, it was a long time ago. I didn't exactly have time to look into the information and everything that went into that. I thought things had changed since I was last there.
Sister, what do you think?
What are you keeping from us?
Jaren, Holden.
There's no need for this.
I look at Kilsick and I'm like, I told you I wasn't playing around anymore.
Neither am I. Now, is there anything else that you might have considered to be insignificant before, which could possibly be significant?
At
I
this
mean-
point, again, that was a long time ago. I was a foolish little adventurer, and honestly, I had blocked it from my mind, considering I lost half my troops to that damn paladin and his shenanigans.
Sounds
Did
like you
you just-
didn't lose a single one to the paladin.
Did you just quit after that, then?
I had to
Try anywhere
retire.
else?
I had to retire at that point. The detailed injury so great to me, I could barely venture anymore.
Right. Well, do you know any?
Barely. That's
you
not
know-
stop.
Do you know anything about the
Alador
one
had
in?
not tended to me after that hit. When he had, I would have died.
Do you know anything about the one in Oslar?
Me, personally, no. I know nothing about it. But I am aware of someone that will know immensely more than I could ever hope to know. After all, she was the niece of the one who built the crypt that's kept it. Last
What's
I
her
heard,
name?
Misael. Last I heard, she still had a hold of the original plans of the initial tomb. But other than that, I'm not sure how much more she knows about it. Because she's never disclosed it, because she's kept it hushed in case anyone who tried to use her to get inside in order to get to the amulet would struggle with getting in there. Unless the right person came along. And of course, if Shavara knew that she knew such intimate details about that crypt and how to get around its various contraptions, that would render it completely useless.
Is there anything else you want to tell us?
That's
I
about all
don't
I
mean
can-
to be as suspicious as my friends. I like to give you the benefit of the doubt. And I understand if you were put off because of your loss of your men.
It wasn't just the loss of half of my troop. I'm also lost Arjor as well. I knew
Yeah.
up to that point it was fruitless to try and go after the Amulets at that point. It was just going to end in one of us dying, and none of us would have been able to handle it. I certainly wouldn't have. So I figured just
Berlis
leave it
is.
be.
Oh. Damn it, go ahead.
So what do you want me to do, sister?
I figured just leave it be. Someone more than capable and more than worthy of the Amulets will come along. I had other things to focus on.
I believe him.
Alright.
Berlis steps forward, and it is male Berlis. The autumn personality with the ash burnt black hair. So you, pain, just, I can't do justice to the pain in his voice. So you left adventurers that you barely vetted on a suicide mission when you knew better? Like,
We
there's
all-
no judgment. He's just like a blank slate.
We all knew this would be a difficult mission. I fully expected going on this mission to die, despite what the leaders told us.
Same.
You'd have to be a fool to assume otherwise.
We're just naive.
Do I detect any trickery? Any lies?
None whatsoever.
All right.
Oh, the insights. The insights for days.
I feel
No,
like he might actually be telling the truth, guys.
Maybe.
Yeah, I do too.
I did
Doubt.
too.
I feel like we've rolled insight enough times to
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
that out of him.
Alright, so. Do you know anything about a paladin in this town, Holden?
Not that I've gone for many scouts in the region. Well, not
Well,
on the outskirts. We more or less have them focused in the city, because that's where they likely will be heading to.
Hmm.
Go after Mizael and all that.
Well, alright. I think we should have a few of us do some information gathering, see what we have going on here.
If that's what you must do. I need to retreat to my room for a bit. I have some things to ponder over.
Sure. And which room is that, by the way?
Well, we're still in Zanti's plane, you have to remember.
Oh yeah, sure, but is it like could he tell me the room number or which room he's going to?
It's going to be a room on the lower floor closest to the back, pretty much.
Okay. And, are you going by an alias these days?
Give me one quick second. I was not ready for this.
Just call him Shoulder.
His name is Jim.
Jim. Jim and Jin.
While this is all going on, Berlis just looks to Ibgern with guilt in his eyes and just squeezes his hand. Because if you remember, Berlis is the one that was recruited and he dragged Ibgern into this. So he just feels like shit right now because he has lost respect for Holden.
Hmm.
1 second, 'cause I need to check to see.
How about Nedlow? That's just basically his name backwards.
Mean. It works.
Hans.
Han.
Here we go, Gimder. Found it. Gimder.
Gimdar.
Alden Han.
Gimgar. I'm gonna call him Gimgar.
Gengar!
Gengar, go!
His name is Chimchar.
Go, my flaming monkey! Let's go destroy the world!
Hey, don't hate on the flaming monkey. That's what I ran with.
I
like my
ran with
Chimchar.
the turtle. I ran with the fucking turtle. So hey,
Fuck the turtle.
I love
No,
the
don't
turtle.
fuck the turtle.
I like my.
The turtle.
I don't want.
Anyway, see you
Goodness,
later,
Haley.
Gengar.
Let's blast out of this realm.
Alright, yeah.
That was out of character.
Radagast. Let's see. I don't know, whoever's the sneakiest, sneakiest and most charismatic, go out and kind of scout around, talk about, I don't know.
Okay.
Because we're trying to figure out what's going on, like, where's this paladin probably at with his prisoner, like...
Oh, and it looks like Haley just got her
Oh.
booted.
Wait. Just okay. So stat wise, me and Burles are sneakiest.
I'm just gonna
You're
like go
silly.
out with somebody else.
I mean, you can go out with me.
No. Burles is not the most
That was the
charismatic.
I'm sorry, I just
I
considering
don't-
lose
I
downtime.
don't
Holy
think
fuck!
we've said this enough, but fuck Comcast.
What?
And we're still live.
Okay.
You're so
We are still live, but still fuck Comcast. It is a shitty company. I cannot express how much I hate it.
You
yeah.
and me both, Evan.
I will go out with Karen. I don't
My
know
ship
how
is
else to
coming
say it.
my OTP.
We're gonna bro out with Garen.
Bro out.
Bro
yeah,
out.
let's bro out.
We're gonna bro out on a date.
Just as bros.
Just as bros.
No,
It's totally
no,
no homo.
no homo.
Bro. Bro, I like.
No
Love
promo.
This is
Okay,
the face of a displeased DM.
Please.
I can't see your face, so
can we assume that Burles is smart enough at this point that he would just know if he's going for information to subtly disguise himself as the ideal of whatever the situation is that the people would want to talk to?
I mean, I'm not sure you can disguise yourself as a dwarf here.
I
It's
mean,
you'd be a damn tall dwarf.
yeah.
Because it's only a foot difference with disguise self.
You would be better off disguising yourself as a human at best, because,
Okay.
well, you know, humans are cooler than elves in their eyes usually. I'm just going off of general racism stuff, like the Sister Kelsic do.
It's alright, being racist is okay, it's fantasy.
Yeah. You know, maybe Goldman could be giving me and Garen a tour of what he remembers. Oh yeah, there used to be a Dairy Queen over here.
God damn it!
This place used to be really nice.
Hmm.
It's kind of shit now, but it used to be great.
Okay, well, now Burles is disguised as a human that looks very important. Not necessarily a noble, not somebody that people would want to rob, but somebody that looks like you would want to be around them.
Generic adventure. Got it. So it's basically in this town you either have merchants or you have adventurers. There's no in between.
Okay.
Girls like, what the fuck?
What should I do?
I mean, you could travel with your girlfriend.
Yeah, it's true.
I guess
can
currently
go
he's
on.
boyfriend, considering you're a girl and she's a boy.
Okay, so I guess this is morning then, or we're just
It's
going.
like late eve. It's like I'd say late afternoon, early evening sort of time.
All right. Me and Arcus go on a lovely date on the scenic area around the town.
Oh, the old Dairy Queen. I'm sorry.
Berliss is looking for. He strides to the bar and orders a drink. He makes what's considered a good tip, but not anything extravagant. And he is spying with that 13. He's spying for who he thinks would have information he wants.
Sorry, I'm just reading up on something real quick. Perception checks. For what now?
Yeah, what perception?
I mean, we're just looking around for, like Shavara banners and signs of Shavara guards.
There don't really seem to be any in this town as you look around.
I'm gonna actually look for a sign of Celeste, actually.
I'm gonna look for a flower shop.
Fuck me.
Yeah, no, Vincent sees nothing.
I'm gonna look for a flower shop so I can get flowers and whatnot.
I mean,
I want to be romantic.
You're the girl, though.
A cluster of armored humans, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I got a 22 on my advantage perception. I feel special. I need my star.
Isn't that a shield doing you wonders?
Yeah. Thank
you.
you.
Do I find my flower shop?
Thank you, Dragon Boy.
Yeah, you found your shop at this, but whatever. You found your shop. As for Killstick, I will say this: there aren't really any signs of activity from Shavar or any of her cult. However, you do notice that strangely there are quite a few signs of their god Morden all over the place, which is kind of weird because since Shavar took control, most of the regions have kind of taken down their public displays of their gods, with like a couple of exceptions. So the fact that this dwarf town has them up still is a little bit surprising.
I mean, they're dwarves. They're practically carved in the stone.
Yeah, probably.
Probably literally carved in the stone.
Oh, Tim, what's a history check for?
Berliss is trying to remember what he knows about Morgan.
Morden.
Morden, okay. I thought you said Morgan.
No, Morden.
Would that be a religion roll with that?
Yeah, it would be a religion.
It would be religion or history, either one. I mean, technically either one would work, but...
Okay, how about this? He tries to remember what he knows about why they would still keep their banners up. How about that? Like, why they're so public.
That would be a culture.
Dwarven pride.
Well, I'm just gonna... I'm rolling with it. I'm rolling with it. Just... Sorry, I'm just in the back of my mind because he said Morgan. I'm just thinking, what if dwarves worshipped Morgan Freeman? Oh my god.
Morgan and Morgan and Morgan.
And the dwarven people are a proud, sturdy race. They do not take kindly to fascists telling them what god to worship.
I mean, pretty much. That's pretty much what you get, is dwarves are naturally stubborn, and especially with elves, they are really stubborn. So they ain't going to take orders from a fey elf that they could easily break over one of their shoulders. It's pretty much the low and high end of it.
I would love to see them try.
No, I mean, just imagine, breaking Shavara over your knee.
Oh. The Bane knee?
Yeah, as far as, religion there, Vincent. Let me actually pull this up because I actually need to pull this thing up. Come on! Morden, as you were aware, is the primary god of worship for the dwarves, mostly representing the smithing abilities of the dwarves, and that is kind of where they got the inspiration from to have a lot of the big, like, it's where a lot of smithing and dwarves and such come from, is from the worship of Moradin.
Right.
It's basically anyone who worships Moradin basically either comes from a smithing background or eventually goes into that. And that includes a
Pretty
lot of
much he's
adventures
the god
as
of the
well.
forge is basically what it comes down to.
Yep. God of the forge and god of knowledge.
God of the dwarf smashing your head in.
I mean, if you're a cleric of Moradin, then yes.
Let me tell you, clerics of Moradin are fucking terrifying when they're pissed. Think
Yes, they
Gimli
are.
on PHP or PCP. Okay? That.
Oh dear.
You're welcome for the image.
Man.
I didn't hear who he said on PHP, but I'm not sure I want to
Gimli.
know.
Gimli
Oh,
from Lord of the
Gimli.
Rings on PCP.
Oh, God.
But yeah, that's about all you know as far as Moradin.
Play catch with me!
Play catch with me.
There's a lot of ways you can interpret that. You could play toss the dwarf.
Moving on!
So yeah, moving on. Berlis just sort of subtly. I rolled 25 stealth, but he's not trying to like disappear. He's just trying to like fade into the background and to around the people that sound like they know some good gossip. He's just trying to eavesdrop. With
Bunch
his,
of old
fine
dwarven
drink.
ladies
Fine
that
drink in
look
his
like
hand.
they could punch Berlis's face in.
Well,
Okay, so
you
you're
know,
just listening to see if anybody's whispering about, like...
Yes. And then the first one he comes across that sounds like they know something, he casts detect thoughts, but only the surface thoughts. He doesn't want to dig deep because surface thoughts do not, like, they won't know if it's just surface thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, actually wandering around, you don't hear much about anything in reference to, like, paladins or Shavar or anything like that. Like, you hear kind of whispers of... The only whispers you really hear of Shavar are, like, opinions of her.
Haley?
Is he really?
Haley?
Oh no.
Is that number
No!
Yep.
We lost the
three?
DM.
And
That's
that's
God
number
damn it.
three. Fuck
That's three.
Comcast.
Starting to go somewhere.
Quota. We've reached our quota, folks.
That's a hat trick.
That's a hat trick.
Oh. I'm gonna mute myself while we wait for her to come back from the dead.
No.
And while we're waiting, we might, since we're live, hey, Evan, there is other fine programming on the Rolls to Astonish network, isn't there?
Yeah. You got stuff like Bounty Babes. The Unhallowed game
Unhallowed.
we're doing in the break between Bounty Babes.
It was just my headset acting weird.
Oh.
Ah!
Oh, it's just the headset? Okay,
Uh,
unfuck Comcast.
We're at
Unfuck
2 still.
Comcast.
Disappointing.
Okay, where'd I get cut off?
You were just starting to talk like you're wandering around when you come across blah.
Fuck you, headset!
Different opinions and stuff. And
Basically, long story short, that entire spiel I went into is that you mostly just hear opinions about Shavara. Most of them are negative, with only a few like on the fence about what she did. But other than that, there's not much else that you hear about paladins or anything else. I literally went talking for about a minute there, and none of it was heard. I was wondering why I was so fucking quiet.
You were talking and then just
Is there
Again,
anyone
fuck this
worth,
headset!
Is there anyone worth poking in the head around? Like, do I need to roll to see that?
Not really, unless you want some recipes for some really nice brewed mead.
Are you back?
Downtime event, please.
Oh no, I was gonna try to.
And then someone's having an affair.
You hear
Secret
a
lovers.
We'll have a
With the
downtime
butcher.
quest
Human
about
dwarf
fixing this
couple.
dwarf's marriage.
human and dwarf marriage. There
Wait, are we
means
still waiting on Haley to come back?
No, Haley's here.
Oh, okay.
All right,
I'm
so
here. I'm
so
here. I'm queer. I'm ready.
what are we doing? What's going on?
Well, if someone wants to roll me a little bit of investigation or whatever to try and suss out more rumors.
Yeah, I'll roll some investigation.
why not? While I'm on my date, I may as well keep my ears open.
All right, you want to hang?
Nice.
Open
Solid
your
9.
ears.
Garen knows nothing. Garen hears nothing. Garen sees nothing.
There we go.
You know nothing.
I mean, I might as well try.
Thank you.
Yay, 20s.
Oh my god!
Dirty 20.
Ooh.
I
Oh.
have a -3 on this shit, and I rolled a nat 20.
I'm gonna give it to you, actually. I'm gonna
Oh,
give
go
it to
give it to you. Go give it to you.
you. Okay.
X gonna give it to you.
What the hell? I rolled it. I didn't mean to do that.
Intimidation.
You intimidate recipe.
I intimidate, then investigate his soul.
21 investigation.
I'm gonna intimidate the knowledge out
Well,
of his head. Where
You
is
ain't
he?
intimidating shit.
Batman.
He looks
Okay,
up at the
for
sky and
11
says, "Where the fuck are
That
they?"
dwarf.
I'm gonna say, and I'm making this canon. Burles just looks like a broody emo kid.
I'm an emo kid, non-conforming as could be. You
I just
cannot
got
I'm
do
diagnosed
if I
with
look
cool guy
just like-
syndrome.
Okay. From all this, pretty much, I'm going to give you guys the exact same information because you're all within the freaking bracket. Pretty much at this point. So, after a while, each of you guys, let's say Tim runs into a guard that he hears murmurs about. Leif comes upon a bunch of young dwarves that go on about this, and kills it with that nat 20. You probably naturally think that, hey, maybe going back to the tavern and asking the frickin' barkeep if he's seen anything odd would be the best idea, so you double back.
The barkeep knows everything.
I'm gonna
Practically the
follow after-
mayor.
Each of you pretty much get the exact same information, is that
I'm gonna
about
follow my bro.
a week ago, there was someone, because the way they described the armor, because they didn't quite recognize the symbol that was on the armor until later on when they actually figured it out.
Mm.
It was a paladin of Shavar that had someone in tow that supposedly was a prisoner of the Dwarven capital, and he was asking for a guide into the capital so that way he wouldn't get lost or get separated from his prisoner, pretty much.
Prison?
The bartender was the one that was asked about the information. The guard was the one that got a guide from nearby to go and take him and lead him to the capital. And the youngsters that they found were the ones that actually spotted the paladin heading out of town with the halfling in tow.
Shit. Should we get going now?
Let's skedaddle.
Oh, time to hunt
I
down
still
someone.
want that to be in canon. Please tell me Garen used the word skedaddle.
No. No, he doesn't talk. He's just gonna skedaddle on his own.
Skedaddle, skedaddle!
Skedaddle, skedoodle.
Gemgar, let's get going. They're not
Okay.
here. They've already got how many days head start? A week?
A week.
Son of a bitch.
So they would be at the capital by now, if not settled in.
Son of a bitch. Well, you know what? We might as well spend the night here.
No.
Okay, so everybody's hunkering down.
How about no?
I mean,
was-
I mean, it's already close to night.
Yep, it's pretty much by the time you guys get all this information, it's pretty much nightfall.
The horses need to rest.
I'll push this carriage if I have to.
I know you will.
Garen, how about we not?
Only if
Okay,
we're
I
exercising.
I'm sorry. I rolled perception because whatever the fuck is going on, Burles still has a mission. He's looking for anybody that looks like they have an item, maybe magical, that maybe could fall off the back of a truck into his pocket that could help with our cause.
Burles, don't steal from dwarves. It was funny with the halflings. It's not gonna be funny here.
Because I'm
You're gonna
sorry,
go to jail
we're
and
gonna
make
leave
us
you.
wait here for like 3 days while we try to get you out.
Not
Yeah,
happening.
I'm gonna say no.
Says negative Ghost Rider.
You try
1 out
to
of
steal a
10.
female dwarf's wedding ring, and she chases you with a roll pin and pops you in the
No.
head.
Even better,
Just
she
as
grabs him as he tries to get away and makes him into her roll pin.
God damn it, is it horrible now that I want to roleplay that?
yes,
Yes.
it
Yeah.
very
Out of
much
you.
is. Like, have you ever seen the Dark Knight Rises whenever Bane throws
elf.
Batman over his knee?
So I
Oh
guess
my
my date with Sapphire went well. You see,
Yeah.
we walk in with with flowers and like different souvenirs from the surrounding area with
And-
Arcus and stuff.
And then you see Burles getting pounded into the ground.
I'm just
Like a hammer.
Neoma shakes her head. Just shakes her head.
No, that is not canon. I didn't roll for spells. We'll do that in the chat.
Okay. It'd be funny though. You'd
Yeah,
probably go to jail
yeah.
though.
Yeah. Anyway,
Can't. Oh my fucking Christ, I can't.
because the DM needs a reboot real quick. Give me a second.
DM.exe has stopped working.
Please restart and try your application.
Update failed.
Yes.
There's no update. There's only booze.
Let me try this.
Exactly. That's the update.
What booze are you drinking tonight?
Oh, there we go. Boom.
Oh God.
Oh.
Tonight it is 7-Up and Kinky.
You know, he has to grab Batman by the crotch in order to do that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just give him like
I'll leave this
the
up if it's
Just
helpful.
a
I'll
good
even make it bigger if it
squeeze
helps.
and
reach around of a
If you
lifetime.
want to
Ah,
see how that
firm.
set it up.
It's the last reach around he'll feel after he's paralyzed.
How's this? Does this help, hon?
Oh dear. Anyway, okay, so you guys, after Burles does his little failed search, you guys head back to the inn, you stay the night, and first thing in the morning, sun's barely over the horizon. Kills like, who are you bunking with, Goldman?
yeah, and I'd probably be up a little before dawn. I don't know
I
what
think-
kinky shit you're into, Vincent, but you need to calm the fuck down.
I'm legitimately sharpening a pencil. I've been
So you're sharpening your dick.
drawing while we
No.
were talking.
Oh,
No,
I didn't,
no,
need,
no.
I didn't need you to say
I
that.
want you to imagine this. Kill 6 is just getting up to go to her thing, and all of a sudden she just hears, "Get up, we're going to be heading out here soon."
Damn.
She's just like, okay, Goldman. And she just kind of nudges him awake.
She
Kind of
knows
just
he
rolls
kind of
him
rolls out
over
of,
like
yeah,
a big
he rolls
pizza.
out, he rolls out of bed just with a thud,
I'm guessing.
and you just hear from the door, "Is everything okay in there?"
It's just fine. I just need to roll a dwarf out.
Neoma and Arcus are going to be the hardest to wake up.
If you don't wake up, I'm just gonna carry you into the carriage and toss you in.
I just imagine Holden does his rounds, getting everybody else up. He goes up to Neoma and Arcus's door, just, "Come on, you two, get up."
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with it. Kashmir eventually walks into the room, flings one over the shoulder and the other on the shoulder, and just walks out like a boss with a mustache.
I imagine Holden's out waiting by what he assumes to be your guys' wagon, and just notices this, and she's like, "They really are heavy sleepers, aren't they?"
You just see them both kind of just snuggling.
Snuggling against my neck.
Essentially.
You're You're my new pet ferrets now.
Wonderful. Okay, get them to your wagon. I gotta grab
Goldman, do you need me to carry you too?
I'll be fine. Just
Come here, you big potato.
no. Fuck off, Drow. Fuck off.
I mean, you did cuddle against me last night, so
I was asleep.
You did get pretty handsy-feely.
I had no idea what I was doing. Leave me alone.
it's okay. I
doesn't-
get it. You're
I
lonely.
just deny it.
You're lonely. I get it. All right.
I
I'm just teasing you.
I gotta restart my computer. I will be right back.
know. We're losing a bird.
Oh, you know what? Sable is still around Garen's neck this whole time.
Yeah.
This whole time, a ferret has just been wrapped around his neck. Just chilling.
I'll accept it.
Just occasionally chittering in his ear.
Occasionally you give it like something to eat.
Just
a little bit.
A gentle rub with a single finger.
Yeah.
Like a little pet.
Like the tip finger. Just like, here you go.
Okay, since Vince is gone, here's how I'm going to imagine this. Burles is now Maris again, the subservient servant, and Radagast tied a couple too many on, like Radagast is known to do. Maybe a little leaf was involved, and Maris is just guiding the hungover Radagast, or at least we want people to think he's hungover, into the cart.
Alright, when you said Leaf, I immediately thought Leaf the character.
Had a little bit too smoked a bit too much leaf.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, he gives you a hard hit.
A hard hit on that ball.
His name is Leaf, not Leaf.
It just...
Some
You're
halfling
just
leaf.
Hey,
a
we could
nice,
dream.
you're a nice little leaf. You
Yeah,
know what?
I-
He smoked one of your hairs, your leafy head.
Vince has the new big has a big cartoonish wallop on his noggin for trying to take one of Leaf's hairs.
A nice smoking a blunt made of Jufro.
Yeah. Fancy.
What?
That was a complete. Can we get back on this before that tangent gets deeper?
Okay.
Late
yeah,
night
no,
thoughts.
I was just
I
trying
thought-
to say, because everybody else was paired, so I was just trying to say that the rogue and the bard get in the cart. The wagon go off.
I'm sorry.
I mean, you described it. We just went along.
I
I'm
feel like
sorry. I riffed on you
over
a
the
bit.
edge.
Anyway, so you guys all load up into the cart, and I just imagine, just for the sake of it, Goldman just get into the wagon, actually transforms into a freaking riding horse, looks at Holden, and is just like, climb on. And Holden at this point is just kind of contemplating life, just like, I'm not going to question it. And he just
Oh
he
my
struggles a little bit,
God.
but eventually manages to climb on.
How? He doesn't have a saddle. He's gonna have to ride bareback. Goldman doesn't
That
have
can
a
be-
custom saddle.
Exactly! A dwarf don't need a saddle.
How does he climb up though? There's no
You know what?
footholds. There's no
With
climb
that
hold.
nice
It's a pony. It's like one of them.
With that
one of them
nice
midget ponies.
perception,
Or maybe he's riding a boar. I don't know. That's usually the tradition.
Climb on.
Would
Or
you rather
dog?
he be a dire wolf? We'll say a dire wolf.
God
Okay.
damn it, the joke is
I'm
ruined.
still getting in,
Burles?
but I have returned.
Burles.
Burles was trying to say, with that 19 perception, he knows that Holden rides barebacked often. He's fine.
I give up. Innuendos. I might be at my innuendo limit.
Anyway, you guys packed up and you start heading out with Holden taking the lead on the back of his dire wolf mount, which is currently Goldman transformed.
What color is he?
Holden, I believe. Oh God, what color are the Ozar wolves? It's
Evan,
basically based on his region of origin. He is. He's a black, gray, and white direwolf.
no. A plus.
Oh, Gomez, you're so pretty.
He's so yeah. He's adorable. Oh wait, I can't.
Here we go, because I know this is in the original chat, so I'll.
I
bring it
mean,
in
otherwise he could be a giant chicken.
He can be.
No
Oh
giant
no!
chickens.
Beautiful
Here. No
being.
giant chickens. He is a wolf.
Alternatively,
I want.
not a
I want my
chicken.
giant chocobo. I want my
But there you
chocobo.
He is basically a giant Oslor.
All right.
I
Alright,
mean,
and you guys head
Oh,
out, and
great.
I'll go ahead and have Holden make a couple of survival checks. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is.
Yeah, I'm just driving the carriage.
I guess Leaf and Sapphire are like sleeping still and like just kind of cuddling more or less.
Imagine like halfway through this, you suddenly wake up, because with that 25, he gets you a pretty decent way through the mountains, just going off memory alone.
Damn.
That works perfectly, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that 21 perception is Burles looking out for danger on the road.
Oh, he's
He
like,
comes with his new.
Huh?
But-
Oh my god, this is good.
Evan.
this is
perfect.
Oh no, they heard.
His need for revenge? I mean,
I mean,
do you just
I am a
This is-
I'm a paladin of retribution. Is that your nickname for me?
It's just, there's nothing gay about just like a regular bro cuddle.
No, no homo.
No, but I mean, genuinely, like
I'm so
Yeah.
a nice bro cuddle's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
The
It's getting colder out here, so
Is it really?
If like you can't cuddle with
Yeah,
your
can
bro,
you
who
guys
can you
hear me?
cuddle with?
You
absolutely.
know, in other cultures, like it's normal. You'll see, like in Italy, you'll
don't
see
think they
like
can
just
hear me.
friends walking around holding hands and
think
like
they-
they're not
Can you guys
dating
hear
or
me?
anything.
Dog, like I just like cuddle with my bro on the couch sometimes.
Aw.
I'm not like being facetious here.
Can you hear me?
Genuinely.
That's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you, Vincent.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I had no idea. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, you're good. But yeah, you guys do eventually make it to, and I need to look at the name to pronounce it, Dalgruhim. Dalgruhim, and I will put that in the chat because
It'll only work on this.
I might call it Thornburg on accident.
The almighty Thorngun, ruler of
yeah.
the lands under the thorn bush.
basically, as far as what you guys know in general about the Dwarven capital, is that it rests like close to the northeastern shore
no stork.
of Duarte, pretty much. In the land, it's set pretty much in the middle of the country, surrounded by mountains, and the capital itself is set in the heart of the largest mountain in the range that surrounds it, called
he's in love with God.
Delski la Memar, which is basically translated into the Great Spear. It's pretty much the entirety of Ozar is very rich in things like precious metals, and gemstones and such, which are used in quite a few of their machines and crafts and such. And it's their major export is a lot of their armors, their jewelry, a lot of other things like that. Especially as of recently, like magically powered automatons, pretty much.
Maybe a floating head. Does this also mean I should get green headphones?
And actually, as you guys are approaching the capital, as you're approaching the gates, you see that the city, the mountain that's stationed in, is protected and guarded by tall, thick iron gates at the entrance of the mountain, pretty much, with 3 dwarves that are decked in like heavy plate armor, wielding like axes and war hammers and such. Like, these guys are ready for a fight, and they will beat a bitch down. and they do stop you guys with of course Holden being the lead and talking to them. They seem to talk and discuss in Dwarven for a little bit, going back and forth between them before the knights do eventually sort of call up to whoever's controlling the gates, and they open and let you guys inside. And once you enter the mountain, you see that the inside of the capital has pretty much the inside of the mountain has just been carved out to make room for this massive city. I do mean massive.
Oh, by the way, every morning I have been blessing that box.
I'm reading the book, reading my primordial book every now and again. Gotta keep it going.
Sorry, I'm just scrolling through here.
I'm just taking good care of my armor and hating
Yeah,
Shadar with
okay,
all my heart.
massive. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's basically a massive city held in an equally massive cavern.
All about the cavern. Come on.
Yeah, and actually, you guys will notice there's a difference between the buildings that were first here when the capital was first established and some of the newer buildings, because the older buildings are carved from the stone of the original mountain, all the way up to the chief's home, which basically the city is tiered, in a sense. Like, oh god, this is going to be weird to think about it. Like, think Markarth, but inside a mountain, and instead of being like ramps leading up, it's just sort of like it's like a tiered cake pretty much, with each layer going up, with the top layer basically being the chief's home.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, I get that.
And basically a lot of the main structures are kind of built into the tiers, like into the stone, and while other ones that were probably established after like human contact and all that stuff and the other humanoid races, there are buildings that are built from basically metal, wood, anything they can get a hold of to build these structures that are human sized, pretty much. And there is an obvious difference in like design and all that such. Like you could tell some of the older ones have aged design and much shorter doorways.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure I'm not missing anything. And as you guys are moving around, because you guys pretty much drop off the wagon and the horses near the front, and as you guys are making your way through the city, through the streets and such, which they're not very narrow, but they're narrow enough where it's like only two-way traffic in some places. And as you're walking by, you kind of pass. It's mostly in the city. It's a majority of dwarves with like maybe a couple humans, some gnomes, and quite a few tieflings mixed in as well.
Yeah.
A lot of them you can tell exactly where they land on like the sort of, I guess it would be the hierarchy of class per se. Where you see like the servants, the merchants, the noble class, and of course the ones that serve up right next to the chief.
Mm-hmm.
And as you guys are being guided up to the chief's home, which pretty much when you approach the chief's home, it's this giant. Actually, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm seeing on Roll20. That's pretty much it. It's just pretty much a semicircular sort of tier. Like the cavern is curved, and the tiers kind of go along with the curve of the cavern. It's pretty big, but that's pretty close to what it actually is. But anyway, the chief's home is pretty much, it's carved in a sense like the entrance to an actual like palace of some kind, like huge gigantic doors that's in like they would greet like giants with no problem sort of doors. And as you enter, you see that within the chief's home, it's kind of a little community within itself is in here, where there's not really houses, there's more or less rooms in here for everybody that stays in the chief's house. But you see like a variety of like, there's mages, there's guards, there's just a little bit of everything in here that a chief would need as like a main sort of a sorry, I heard the beep. Like a main force pretty much to help run things and protect the chief. And as you guys are walking along, because pretty much this entire thing is just, it's walls that are full of rooms, you got some hallways that are leading off to the sides, and at the end of this sort of hall is just sort of it's the chief's throne where he sits, a couple of like feasting tables and a giant bonfire. And you see as you approach, you see the chief, which for anyone who wants to try and make a history check of any kind for the Dwarven Sage to see if they recall who the chief is. Otherwise, Holden will take care of it.
Yeah, I'll probably just follow Holden's lead, really.
18 history. Burles knows his dwarves.
Leif has not been around enough dwarves or anything else. He's just been wandering. He's never been to the county, so yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, Burles, you do recall that as recently as like the past, I believe it would have been 2 decades ago, a new chief was brought onto the throne. Because basically, how the dwarven government system works is, let me see if I can actually explain this. Is basically unlike some of the other sort of regions where it's either voted officials or it's someone like in direct family relation. As far as the chief, normally most times it's the one that's physically strongest in the community that becomes the chief, which in this case recently was Bundor Axmal, who was actually for the longest time one of the strongest members of the Dwarven army and was considered to be the general until the chief passed and bestowed that led him to receive the title of chief, pretty much. But you see him just sitting at the throne in his nice gold embellished robes and such with his armor clearly on underneath. And you see him sort of having a heated discussion with what looks to be a dwarf scout as you guys are approaching, and he doesn't really even seem to notice you guys for a time until you get close enough. And Holden actually does speak up, and he's speaking up in Dwarven, so you guys don't really understand, but Bundor just kind of looks up like... In a way, he looks up like a mother that's been disrupted in mid-conversation, but that's just kind of like, hey, you're an old friend, hi. Ah, Holden, what brings you back home this time?
Business.
Yes, business, my friend. We have to, I was wondering if you could point us in the direction of Misael, your cousin? Because we need to speak to her about a couple of things. Misael, eh? Well, that might be a little bit troublesome. Why say that? Well, and Bundor just kind of settles in his throne, turning his attention to you guys away from the scout. My cousin recently has gone missing while on a venture into the mountain ranges to the north of the region with her assistant Glee. The tiefling? Yes, the tiefling. With a troop of my soldiers. Elfrog here, and he motions to the scout nearby. He unfortunately was the only survivor of that troop. Turns out they got jumped by tieflings, surprisingly enough. I have no idea where they've gone. I have no idea why they would have taken her or attacked her, but Elfrog here only managed to survive because one of them smacked him enough to land him in a nearby cave. He got knocked out, but he wasn't dead. By the time he came to, they were gone. All of them. Misael and Glee were gone, and everybody else was dead. And I'm not sure exactly how to go about dealing with this. Because that was most of my best men that went, and they all got struck down by these things.
Has there been a lot of unrest with tieflings lately?
Well, these were likely feral tieflings, which, after the Lich War, when my kin decided to take in some of the tieflings that were stripped from their home, it didn't end too well for some of them. Some of them were too keen on essentially becoming servants, and he says this in air quotes, to the dwarven kind, even though we were simply offering them a new home, because their land had been reduced to a wasteland. So some of them decide to simply stay in the wastelands and survive on their own. However, I just don't know what to do. I want to send a troop out there to go and find her and save her, but considering that my strongest men were unable to repel this attack, I'm not sure how much more I can sacrifice in order to go after her.
Berliss gives Kilsec eyes that say, "We can do this."
And Kilsec gives back eyes, obviously. Well, Holden, since we are this cousin, might as well go out and rescue her, right?
Would you be willing to? I mean, I really don't want to bother you with this burden because you all have likely just arrived from your journey going through the mountains. I know it's tiring.
Oh, yes, but I certainly don't have any trouble with stretching my sword arm.
Berliss just looks to the king or chief and says, "I know Eladrin have a reputation for being delicate, but you'll find I'm made of sturdier stuff."
Right. Well, if you all are willing to take on this task, then I can have Holden talk to Elfrog here and try to get an idea of where exactly the ambush happened. And then you all can head out as soon as you're ready and able to.
Very good, my lord.
Just, I do warn you, be careful in those wastelands. Because I have no idea what the Tiefling been up to in that wasteland since the end of the Lich War. But it can't be anything good. It never is.
Berliss looks at his comrades and nods. "Do you have anything you could offer us to help our endeavor, my liege?" I don't know. That sounds right. Liege?
My lord.
My lord.
Oh lord.
I can't be certain, especially with tieflings. It's kind of hard to have anything to have prepared against them. Like, we're not even sure what their force is comprised of. According to Elfrog, it was a mix of some were fighters, some were spellcasters, but he's not certain what kind. The only thing he knows is that one of them smacked him inside the head with a club really hard, and that's how he got knocked out. Otherwise, he is not aware of exactly what kind of potential they have, and I don't want you sending out with something I think might help, but will prove absolutely fruitless.
Of course. Well,
I mean, if Holden can pull some more information out of Elfrog and I've been able, I'll gladly try to provide something to help, but otherwise I can't offer much assistance.
well, thank you. I think we've disturbed you long enough. And now we're just waiting on our friend Holden. Oh, and Goldman's probably out too.
Yeah, Goldman, after you guys got into the city, he would transform back into a normal dwarf, and you probably would have heard him muttering something like, "Ugh, I forget that my own kind are so freaking heavy." Alright, after a little bit of talking with Elfrog, Holden does eventually meet up with you guys outside the chief's home, or you guys can be near the door or whatever, but he meets up with you, and he kind of gives the lowdown of, basically I'll give it to you here, because I want to do Holden's voice again. Basically, what he got from Elfrog is that he and the troop were basically escorting Mizael and Lee to go investigate some ruins to the north of Oslo near the mountain range. But before they even left the mountains, like, they were pretty much leaving the mountains going into the wasteland, they got jumped by the tieflings and surprised. Again, he's not sure what kind of powers they have, he just knows that he saw a fireball flying from one direction, and then from behind he heard a bunch of clashing of blades and metal and such. He turned around to see what was happening, and he got clubbed in the face by an actual club. and by the time he came to, most of his entire troop was dead, and Misael and Glee were just gone. And he would have gone to try and follow the trail after them, but he knew he was no match against the tieflings alone if he had just gone, so he figured it'd be smart to come back and inform the chief to try and get a troop together to face these tieflings, if there was a way to get enough manpower to face them.
I wonder if that paladin has anything to do with this.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Why
I
wouldn't
can't.
you use others to do your dirty work?
I certainly wouldn't put it past them. It's Idvir speaking up for the first time this session. But either way, it doesn't matter if the paladin is involved or not, we do need her information. Because if we stand any chance of getting the Forager's Stone, we need to know what she knows. And we certainly can't get the information while she's off in the wasteland messing around with some tieflings.
Haley, remind me again why she was out there to begin.
She was out there trying to investigate some ruins that are basically near the border. Because basically, after the Tiefling land was turned to wasteland by the Lich, there are a lot of ruins and such that were left over that some of them have been touched in decades.
Oh, she was going on like an archaeological expedition.
Pretty much, because I will say this, Misael is the court wizard in the capital.
Okay.
So
What's
she's
his
very
name?
interested in like history and such.
What's her name?
Misael. But you can call her Missy for short.
And they see the bard there roll in, and roll in, and roll in.
And she does have a tiefling assistant named Glee, who basically is kind of studying under her to become a tiefling wizard herself. She's still kind of in training, but she's getting somewhere. But yeah, that's just that it. And actually, now would be a good point to stop before you guys head out to try and look for them.
Okay.
All right. That is, if you want to do a quick wrap up.
Yep. And thank you all for joining us once again for another riveting tale adventure within Zoathia and the Legends of the Five Amulets. Our troop is now getting a little bit closer to finding the next amulet, and hopefully by this point next week, after a little bit of scrounging about, they'll find a bit of information, they'll figure things out, and by then we'll hopefully be on our way to rescuing Misty and figuring out exactly what is in store for them to get the Forger's Stone. But until then, this is Whisper Shimmerlock signing off. For all of you that wish to be in the know about our adventures in the downtime, join our Discord server, Rolls to Astonish, because we are very slowly growing bigger every day. And we always have interesting stuff going on that isn't just Dungeons and Dragons. You can also follow us on Twitch to be in the know of when we go live with not only our 5e game, but for our other games as well. Tomorrow night we're going to be doing an Unhallowed game, continuing from where we left off last week, where we broke into a house and now we are going slowly further in and enjoying it. We also would like it if you subscribe to our YouTube page, because if you can't quite catch our streams on Twitch when they happen, you can go there and watch them when you have the time. It's always wonderful to catch up. And we also do have a Facebook page if you want to follow us there, so that way, because we always announce when our games happen on there, and if we, in the future when we want to try and recruit players that are in our server, we might be going there and hitting up some fans on there, see if they want to join in. But otherwise, this is Roll Staunch signing off. Live on, play strong, and roll out.